Hey witch, welcome back to my channel. My name is Matt, and today we are diving deep into my 5 favorite herbs. This is gonna be my first herb video on my channel, and I'm so excited to talk about it because herbs are my favorite forever and always. Herbs have such a special place in my practice. I use them in literally everything. I use them in my skincare, I use them in my tea blends, in my oils, and my candle magic, and my manifestation work, literally everything. So we are gonna dive deep into my 5 top favorites. This is by no means a complete list of my favorites. This is just like the first 5 that I could think of that were like my powerhouse go-tos, you know? So we're gonna dive deep into those, but first, I'm drinking coffee today. Does that surprise you at this point? Because it shouldn't. What are you drinking though? Let me know. So just jumping right into it, my first favorite is the rose. Go figure, duh, like rose you can't go wrong with. But I have so much rose. So much rose. Rose smells so good, but like, my jar kind of smells like pickles. I don't think that's normal. Well, hopefully your roses don't smell like pickles, but mine do. So rose has been dubbed the queen of flowers because it has been cultivated for thousands and thousands of years by societies all across the world. It has roots all the way back to India about 3,000 years ago, like cultivated just because it's pure, radiant, and beautiful energy. It is like the first flower that you think of when you think of like flowers in general, like literally. That's why it's the queen of flowers. It is on her throne for a reason because she has a use for literally everything. I like to call Rose the clear quartz of flowers because literally just like whatever you need, it got you. Rose is perfect. It is actually said to be the highest vibrational material on this entire planet. So when you see the rose, it just like immediately brings up all these feelings of like beauty and love and like excitement and just like pure energy, you know? It's like the best flower to use. It's just great. So according to Scott Cunningham, the rose is associated with the planet Venus and with the element of water. And that totally makes sense to me, but my own personal association with the rose is the sign of Libra, because Libra is all about beauty and love and like harmony and balance and all that, and that's just very rose to me, honestly. But I don't know if my association with Rose and Libra is because of Miss Vanjie's runway look for her Libra look. That might be it, but either way, it works. So I've already said that Rose is perfect for literally anything, but it's really, really good for love, divination, luck, healing, just like anything. The way I personally use rose in my practice is by putting it in my Libra Beauty and Glamour oil. And I also love to use it in tea blends. It tastes so lovely and it's so like fragrant and floral and beautiful. I just could go on and on about how much I love rose all day. I also really love to make a rose water and use it as like a cleansing spray instead of using like traditional like sage or anything like that. Since it's such a high vibrational plant, it's great for just like obliterating the negative energy in your space. It is just like relaxing and calming and beautiful and just like everything that you want your space to be filled with. So, I mean, at least me. Is it just me? I don't think so. But moving on to Jasmine, my second favorite. I am running dangerously low on my Jasmine because I've been using it so much lately. Okay, this is so random, but the jasmine flowers make the most satisfying crunch when you put them in a pestle and mortar. Jasmine is another one of those herbs that has been cultivated for centuries. It is such a beautiful, fragrant flower. Also, according to Scott Cunningham, it is associated with the moon and the element of water, and that would tend to make it lean towards more Cancer vibes, and I can totally see Cancer being associated with like the fragrance of jasmine. But to me, jasmine has such a strong Taurus energy. I just think it's so Taurus because it's just so laid back and like calming and beautiful and luxurious and expensive smelling. A bottle of jasmine essential oil is like literally so expensive. I don't know if I will ever get my hands on like a real true bottle of jasmine. One could dream though. I personally love to burn jasmine as incense. It's actually my favorite incense of all time. I love to kind of burn it to induce like a trance-like state, especially when I'm reading tarot. It just kind of like gets me in that perfect peaceful state of mind, and it makes like the messages come through so clear and easy, and just like calms down my brain because I'm always going a million miles per hour, but that's just because my chart is ruled by Mercury. I will never slow down, so. I use Jasmine personally in like literally all of my money spells. Anything that has to do with finances or like business or luxury, anything that I'm trying to like manifest things, I use Jasmine for because it's so great for it. I also use Jasmine as a primary ingredient in my Taurus full moon oil, which will be soon available in my shop. I'm actually launching a whole new line of products soon, so keep your eye out for that. And another spicy use for Jasmine is that Jasmine is known to be most fragrant at night, so it's really good for like sexy, sensual magic, if you know what I'm saying. Moving on to hibiscus, one of my personal all-time favorites. Like this, I would say I love hibiscus more than rose and jasmine, but that's like unfair because I love them all so friggin' much. So hibiscus actually has two different associations according to both of these books, The Magic of Flowers by Tess Whitehurst and The Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs by Scott Cunningham. Scott Cunningham lists it as a Venus and water herb, which I can totally see, but Tess Whitehurst also lists it as a Mars fire herb, which I can totally see as well. It's got that kind of like duality to it. It's related to Kali the Destroyer, so you have like that like destructive fiery energy in there, but you also have that like soothing, comforting water energy to it as well. And with that energy, it is so great for liberating yourself from the obstacles that are holding you back from your success. So you can use it to like get ahead, or to just kind of like break down negative thought patterns that are holding you back. Especially with that energy of like Kali the Destroyer, like let her destroy those things in your life that are not serving you. But I love to use hibiscus for love, for beauty and glamour magic. It's also really good for lust, divination, and like clearing. So yeah, like I've said already, I use it as a natural dye for papers and fabrics. So if you're looking for like witchy arts and crafts, hibiscus is your gal. I also use it in a lot of tea blends because it tastes so good. With green tea and hibiscus, that's like my perfect go-to iced tea. I also use it in a lot of my intention oils, especially my Libra oil. I did not mention it before, but for me, hibiscus is closely related with the energy of Scorpio because it has that duality, like that fiery heat energy, but also that like water energy. And since Scorpio is one of those signs that people always confuse with like a fire sign, like people never know if it's like fire or water, it's just like perfect for the energy of hibiscus because it has that duality. My next favorite herb, flower, whatever, is calendula, also called marigold, but there are two different types of marigold, and I will get into that in a little bit. Calendula is associated with the sun and fire, which makes it the perfect Leo herb. It is great for gaining admiration from your peers. Like if you put it in your bath and you like soak in the flowers, it's said to bring in like the love and the adoration of like your peers and the people who are around you. So definitely Leo. Calendula blooms with the sun and closes at night. So again, a perfect example of Leo energy. It's just all about like that sun, fire, passion, all that kind of stuff. So the difference between marigold and calendula is edible, whereas common marigold is not. So you are looking for Calendula officinalis when you are looking for the edible variety, so make sure you do your research. If you find it in the wild, you can tell the difference between calendula and marigold because marigold has like straight stick seeds, and then calendula will have like curved seeds with like toothy edges on them. So make sure you do your research before you eat something that you're not supposed to. But with that fiery sun energy, it's really good for happiness, for protection, for exorcism. Like, and when I say exorcism, I mean like exercising the things that are holding you back, like your negative thought patterns, your inner demons, whatever you want to call them. It's also incredibly soothing, healing, and cleansing too. So it's just really, really good it's really, really good for bath magic specifically, just because it's so like soothing and cleansing. It just like it just like purifies your aura and just makes you like shine bright like the sun. I almost said shine brightly diamond, but this is not a Rihanna song, sorry. I used to use calendula a lot in my skincare when I was making a whole bunch of my skincare blends. I unfortunately do not have the resources to do that anymore. But I do love to use calendula in my tea blends as well. That's like a common theme here, I love tea. I use calendula personally in my Aries and my Leo intention oils as well. I use Calendula in my Aries oil to kind of like break hexes and anything that like negative people are throwing at me. And then I use it in my Leo oil to gain the respect and admiration of my peers. So, and moving on to my last one on the list for right now, it is lavender. Of course, how could I not include lavender on this list? Lavender is one of the most highly cultivated plants used in magic, herbalism, and aromatherapy. Lavender is so excellent, and it is associated with Mercury and the element of air. So with that being said, it is the perfect Gemini herb. It is really good for purity, protection, peace, love, happiness, harmony, intuition, like you name it. Lavender is good for it, especially if it's like a mental power. It's really good for inducing prophetic dreams too, if you have it by your nightstand. I usually keep mine up on my dream altar, but she's right here with us right now. I really like to burn lavender as an incense to kind of like ease my anxiety, and if my mind like constantly runs a million miles per hour, as you can probably tell from my videos because they're always freaking long. I love to burn it to just kind of like calm myself down and like release my anxiety, because I do have some issues with anxiety. Lavender is great for it. I also use it in so many of my tea blends, especially like my psychic teas. I love lavender in that because it just tastes so freaking good. If you've never had lavender ice cream, I highly recommend it too. It's so delicious. My primary use for lavender though is in my Gemini oil, go figure. I use my Gemini oil to make new friends and make it easier to socialize, because for me, I have a lot of social anxiety, so being out in the real world around real people is scary to me, so gotta do what you gotta do. I also used to use lavender in my charcoal lavender face scrub. It is so good for your skin, and especially paired with charcoal, it's just like, I use it as a natural exfoliant. I really need to get back on that because I miss it so much. But that is about it for my herb video today. If you would like a part 2, let me know, and I can do more like flowers. That's what I primarily use. I primarily use flowers, but I can also do herbs if you would like. If you want to do like kitchen herbs or other herbs, let me know what you want to see, and I would love to do it for you. Keep an eye out for another pick a card reading coming soon. I really want to do a July month ahead reading, so I'm gonna try to do that as like a bonus video before July actually happens, since that's next week. Crazy. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next Thursday, I will spell you later.